Hey, Caitlin.
Hey, Narita, thanks for joining me today. This is so much fun.
It is. We took over for Rachel. How fun is that?
Yes, it was kind of a last minute switcheroo, so we're just glad to be here and to share this time with all of you today.
I'm so thankful to be an American, and something Caitlin and I both have in common is that we have parents that have served in our military. And so I am a Navy brat, and my brother was a Marine, and my father-in-law was in the Coast Guard, and we have lots of friends in the Coast Guard. We got to minister and help plant churches in the Coast Guard Outer Banks area. And Caitlin, your dad was in the Army, correct?
That's right. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. He's retired now, and he was a chaplain.
Awesome. And so anybody who is out there who is in service or has a child serving, we thank you for your service. We are so grateful. And I am thankful that the godly people that came across and who were here and help evangelize this land. This is the Protestant nation, and it's a Christian nation with Christian principles. And we are a pretty patriotic family. And so today is kind of really fun, even though we're winging it, that we got to have this America theme. And I know you have some show and tell resources for us now, which would be good to hear about.
I do. I had the joy of crawling around and digging and finding these resources and asking my children to help me find them because, as you go through homeschooling with your kids, you use things in different seasons. And then some things maybe we haven't gotten to yet, but I do have them. So I had a lot of fun finding them and getting them all ready to share today. And so we're not in any way going to glorify the history of our country. It is a country that has made mistakes, but we do want to just glorify God and showcase some resources that Master Books has to help us teach our children the heritage of our country and learn about the heart of the founding fathers and that this nation was built to glorify God and to worship Him freely. So one of the first things we're going to start off with today is the brand new release of the Timeline of American History. So this is over 15 feet long of a timeline. And what I like about these is they can be like opened almost like a book. You have to go the right way though. And I wasn't. All right, here we go. You have to open them the right way. And they're like a book with different pages that you can do, or you can unfold the entire thing. What's really neat about it is, we get it going the right way here. There's a section here with colors. So this color is going to flow through your whole book of your timeline. And this one is going to be about biblical and Christianity history, scientific and technological developments, cultural and social movements, and then political developments. And so you see through the whole book, they're going to merge and showcase all of those various points in history together. And a lot of people will like to take this and put it up and spread it over their wall, maybe in their living room, dining room, or schoolroom, or someplace like that. And there are a variety of other timeline packets and other timelines that Master Books offers. And so a lot of people will take those timeline packet images and put them above or below this large American timeline to add to it. And so my recommendation with a timeline like this, if you spread it all out and you do open it all the way, the right way, spread it all out in your room, maybe if you're willing, get a picture of your child, all your children, and print it out and put them on the timeline because they have a place in history. They have a place in God's story. They have a purpose, and God has a plan for them. And it's also really special if you're able to print out photos of mom and dad, siblings, grandma and grandpa, and help them see that, look, grandma was alive at the same time as JFK. Isn't that cool? Maybe grandma doesn't seem quite so old now because it's a good connection. So I know that kids love to see themselves, and so they would love to see themselves in their place in history, to know that they are a part of it. History is happening all around them. They're making history every day. And so this timeline is so special, and I love it. Okay, so we're going to get started now with some other resources that are just general resources that can be used in a variety of ways. This little cute book, you have to call it that, it's called The Pledge of Allegiance, and it has a very short read that you could give your elementary or middle school student, and they could read it in no time to learn all about the Pledge of Allegiance and the story there. And then in the back of the book, there's a little glossary that explains things. There's a section for activities that you could do as extensions. You could assign this and ask your student to write a little report on what they've read from it. The same would be this story of In God We Trust. Kind of talks about money, discovering our nation's heritage, and things like that. And the same, it's got activities and a glossary in the back. It's very cute. So, all right, the next one would be this story called G.I. Joe and Lillie. And it's a storybook that you could give to an upper elementary to middle school, even high school students. You could do this as a read aloud with your kids. You could give this to your family. Mom could read it out loud, and the kids could go write a report or draw pictures based on what you've read. There's a variety of things that you could do with this resource. And my son read it, and he said it was such a good book, and he really loved it. Another fun resource that Master Books have is called Meet the Chief. This is a really great resource that you can pull out and use whenever you're learning about the American presidents. This has a bit of extra information about the presidents. I know they are introduced in America's story here and there along the way. Some get more attention in America's story than others. Some are just briefly mentioned. But if you want to learn more and dig deeper, you can do that in Meet the Chief. Every single page has a little bit of trivia about the president. There's trivia. There's an in-depth story about each person and what number of president they were. And it talks about their terms and some of the key things that they did while they were in office. It also has some information in the front of it about the presidential oath, what the president's job is, who can be the president, and then an index of all of them right here. So you could assign this for your kids to maybe memorize the order. I know there are a lot of songs that people like online of how to memorize the order of the presidents, what number they were when they served. So that can always be kind of fun and pull out a little trivia night. I was looking through the What a Character series and tried to find as many as I could that would apply to American history. And as far as I could tell, all of them have somebody, or one of them is about animals, but that can relate to American history. But I think for the most part, we have 8 that are strictly about American history or touch on something to do with somebody from America. So there's the What a Character, Amazing American Presidents. And so each of the What a Character books will highlight 10 biographies about different people. I still have to say, and animals, because there is an animal book that were heroes. What's really special about these books is they're very colorful and fun. They're easy to read as a read aloud or independent reading. On the side, they have vocabulary words, definitions, and so those can be used in a variety of ways. So as you're maybe looking ahead in your history that you're reading, you can pull these out. So there's also the famous American statesmen. There's famous women in history, famous pioneers and frontiersmen. There's America's war heroes. There are heroes of early America, heroes of the War of Independence, and a super fascinating one on America's famous spies. So if you have a student that may be resistant to reading or listening to you read or something, maybe some of these will hit with them based on the content, because this isn't just a made-up story. These things really happened. And so you could jump off a lot with these and assign creative writing assignments, notebooking, or drawing assignments as they're read. And then all of these What a Character books are available as audiobooks. So that's another great way to utilize What a Character series by Marilyn Boyer. And you could listen to those in the car, as you go on a trip. You could even assign your child to go in their room and listen to the read aloud or the audiobook of one of these biographies and then come out and give you a report. So there's so many cool ways that we can use those resources. So as we jump into the elementary phase, I just have to point to this book right here because my kids broke it and we don't have it. That book died and we're sad, but that's okay. We still have this one. The Elementary United States Geography and Social Studies is a really great course where your students can learn all about the 50 states, the history of them. So this course is designed for around 4th through 6th grade. It comes with your daily schedule that our Master Books resources come with, and it has recipes in it from each state, what it's kind of known for, and there's crosswords, there's fill in the blank. You'll color the flag from each state. So that's a really fun and fascinating course. I hesitate to even show you the cover of this because my kids totally drew faces on the people on the book. We need to be more respectful over here, but you get it. I'm sure your kids do it too. But anyway, this book kind of covers all of the different states and shows a lot of information about each state as you cover it. What I love about this is that it's no pressure because it's fun information to take in. Your book will come with a passport booklet here, but of course this has been used and ours is long and gone. But it's a cute little passport book that does come, and it has stickers. It looks like this little passport book, and it comes with stickers. So as your student learns about each state, they put the sticker for that state's flag in their passport booklet. And even if you have children younger than the recommended age for Passport to America, I recommend purchasing them their own passport booklet and sticker set because, as we've discovered, we all love stickers. And so younger kids don't have to do the course. They don't have to have the teacher's guide to do the course, but they can listen in and learn as they go, try some of the recipes, and put their sticker in their passport book because they were a part of the journey. So the next thing that we're going to look at is the Biographies of the Revolution. This is by Marilyn Boyer. She wrote the What a Character series and a few other things. This is a history course geared toward 4th through 6th grade. And from the course description, I would love to read this to you. We are fast losing our freedom in this country. We as a people don't even recognize this. If we don't understand the cornerstones of freedom that the founders risked everything to establish, we won't be vigilant about protecting our freedom. Kids need a thorough understanding of this crucial time in the history of our country. Attention is given in this course to the reasons to the Constitution, why it was written, and understanding what that means for us today. So it's really fascinating that time was taken to share biographies of the men that were involved in starting this country. It has all of the beginning information. It has a daily schedule that tells you exactly what to read and what worksheet to do and when. So I love how organized it is. Every chapter has a special project section, so you could do extension activities or projects along with your worksheets. These are so adaptable, like you don't have to write all of the answers down. Your kids don't have to write all of them down. They can just discuss it with you or put a little star by the ones that you want them to write down the answer to. It's very adaptable to work for you. In the back of the book, you will find quizzes, answer keys, and extra resources as well. And so the book that goes with that is the student book called The Fight for Freedom. So I think these courses don't get maybe as much attention as some of our other history courses, but they're quite fascinating because they go very in-depth into the lives of our founders and some of our people. So this is kind of what it looks like on the inside. So this one is featuring Daniel Boone. So it's got like a full color picture, and the story all about him. Little opposite here. It goes really into detail. And I know America's Story does go into detail on Daniel Boone, but there may be some other people in this book that are slightly mentioned that maybe America's Story doesn't have the time to go into. And so this even book on its own, even if you just got this book to dive in deeper on these biographies as those men in history are brought up, might be really interesting. You also might consider reading one of these each night as a read aloud before bed or something like that. The next one by Marilyn Boyer for the same age group, 4th through 6th grade, is the timeline of the revolution. So whereas Biographies of the Revolution was about the people and their biographies, this is about the timeline of it. And so we open it up. It again has that daily schedule, and it tells us what to do each day and what to read. In the back of the book, there are all of the patriotic songs listed. So there's My Country 'Tis of Thee, The Star Spangled Banner, America the Beautiful, and a lot of cool information on that. Got your worksheets. And the book that you use with that is called America's Struggle to Become a Nation. And I love that it's full color and it's not an overwhelming read by any means, but it's really fascinating information, and boys and girls would love it. There's a section in the back asking who were the signers of the Declaration of Independence, and it goes through each person, and it's at that elementary level. And so Marilyn Boyer also wrote For You They Signed, and it's going to take this concept even deeper, even further at that middle school and lower high school level. So there's a great way to introduce this in elementary and then to go over it again in your middle school and your lower high school level with For You They Signed. And in the back is a whole list of vocabulary words, what they mean. So there's a variety of things that you could do with all of those resources that come with this book. It's very adaptable and easy to build onto to deepen the history that you guys are studying together. Okay, so Map Trek is another resource that it's kind of focusing more on the geography of everything, but it has maps of the world and United States history. So this is the Atlas book, and it's full color. So if you're going to study Alaska, it's this way. You can study that with your students, and they can take in all the information. And then you open up your Map Trek Outlines book. This is where they're more black and white, and your student goes to Alaska. Like they have maps of like early explorers. But if you go and you want to do that one from Alaska, you go back here and you'll notice that it's blank. And then your student has studied where everything is and can put that on there. Those are really great if you get these in like the PDF, especially if you get this in the PDF, you can print it as many times as you need to. And then there's actually a free resource on the FAQ section of the Master Books website. That's a place where you can make your own maps and print them, use them digitally as well. So that's a little hidden gem. It's completely free, but you can use these and you can use the Map Studio on the FAQ section. Okay. A lot of our community is really familiar with America's Story, and we love America's Story. It's an awesome set. This is organized in 3 little books that are broken down by time frame in history. So whether you're in, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, they're all about the same level. They're all about the same reading level, and the worksheets are all about the same level for your student. So if you're coming from a different curriculum and you've already studied some of the time frames in like level 1, you can just jump right into level 2 and utilize that right where you need to be in history. A lot of people like to combine or just go a little faster so that way they get the whole series. It's very adaptable as well. America's Story 1, 2, and 3 are all available as audiobooks. And I know so many moms love that because sometimes we just need something to go off of our plate. And so the audiobooks are awesome. We just need to put on the audiobook that'll read the lesson to our kids, and we can go into the other room and drink a cup of coffee or sparkling water or whatever your thing is. Those are my things. And anyway, America's Story. I do have level 3 featured here. Some of the neat things when you get to level 3, there's a section in it that teaches about the legislative, the judicial, and the executive branches and how those are broken down. So that's a question we get a lot, people asking, where is that taught? That's in level 3 of America's Story. There's also a section here about the president and how to become the president of the United States. So it's got a really cool visual breakdown of it. The reading material is very easy to do. It's color. Very, very cool. And so the way it's designed to work is you would use your teacher's guide. This has your daily schedule in the front as well. And this tells you what to read, where to read it, and then what worksheet you may do that day to accompany it, or do all of your reading the first couple days and then get into your worksheets. Some of the worksheets are fill in the blank. Some have map adventures. Some have a place for you to draw a picture or to sketch something. There's a wide variety of extension activities from this teacher's guide. And the way that the teacher's guides work, it sounds a little different to say, well, why would I hand my student the teacher's guide? This is actually a really wonderful resource with your schedule, worksheets, and answer keys. So the easiest thing to do is to tear out the answer keys in the back of the book and put those in a safe little binder for yourself. A lot of us call that our mom binder. And we keep all of the answer keys there and then just hand this to our student, and they just use their student reading book or audiobook and their teacher's guide with all of their worksheets and everything in it. The teacher's guide does come with its own timeline, little pictures and things in the back. They are in black and white, and they're great, but they don't quite match some of the images that you see in the text. So we do have these timeline packs available. They come with little strips of your years that you can cut these strips out and put them on the wall and take your timeline images and add them appropriately as you're studying. This is what the timeline pack looks like. And there's about 4 to a page with the information on there. And these are the exact images that are in your text. So your children will make that connection and see what they just learned about. They're now cutting this out and putting it on the wall. And they're seeing, well, this happened, and then this happened, and then that happened. Wow, that wouldn't have happened without that person. So it's pretty fascinating to see how every person has a plan and a design and the way that everybody is being used by God for his glory and for such a time as this. Marilyn Boyer, we mentioned, wrote the What a Character series, the Timeline of the Revolution, and the Biographies of the Revolution. She also wrote For You They Signed. This used to be in 2 separate books, and it's now been combined into all-in-one resource and in full color. So this is going to do a deep dive into the signers of our country, the founders of our country. So it's going to talk about each person, their life, and then there's right after your lesson, that's where your worksheets are. It's not separated by reading text and then all worksheets. You read and then you have your follow-up worksheet. So it's right there for you to access the information. So there's a picture of the person or a painting of the person and all the information about them and their contributions to this country. And then you have your worksheets. And my son just did this year along with for high school. He did this for high school along with his Civics and Constitution course that he did. He did those at the same time. And there was a lot of good crossover there. For You They Signed is geared towards 7th through 9th grade You can apply 1 credit to this if it's used in high school when used all of the way. But if you're using it in middle school, you don't have to apply that. That's up to you and your state standards. But this is a really great, easy read with worksheets that are easy to find the answers, fill it out, and of course that answer key is in the back of the book. So moms, you can just take that out, put that in your mom binder, and help your student find the answer if they should need it. We do have an American history course for high school. Same setup with the daily schedule right in the front, all of your worksheets in the back part, your answer key in the very back that you would take out and use that. So this would be the thing you would give your student to work on, and then this is their text that they read from, and that is in full color. And it's really interesting to read about in full detail because as students get older and older, the lessons get longer and longer, but so does the information, and it's really interesting for them to learn about. And then the last thing that we have that we're going to focus on today is the course on the Civics and the Constitution. This is available where you can get the sessions that you would watch on DVD. You could also get them as like an MP3, and that's what I would recommend. We did use the DVD with this, but when my son would go to work with my husband or go to grandma's house or life happens, if he didn't have the DVD with him, he wouldn't have those lessons available. So I would recommend getting the MP3 digital version of the sessions that the student watches so that they can access those through their Master's account or wherever they download it, wherever they go. So it is designed to watch a lecture through, whether it be the MP3 or DVD. They watch a lecture and then they read content from here, and their teacher's guide tells them what to watch every day, what worksheet to do, whatever follow-up information they have. And of course, the answer key is in the back. My son learned so much from this series, from this course. This is worth a half credit from Master Books for High School, and it's geared toward 9th through 12th grade. So I think I've covered all of the resources that I could find at my house today. I was wondering if I missed any about the United States that we might have. If any of you think I missed any, please let me know. I know that Master Books has a robust, offering of resources, and sometimes it can be easy to forget just how much we have available.
That was a lot, and that was awesome. So as you were talking, I was like, wow, we've used that and that and that, which is pretty neat. When you have so many kids, you get the ability to go through so much stuff. And then I thought, well, let me share some practical ways of how you've used all these resources. And I love that you interjected some of that stuff yourself in there. But so I was like making notes while you were talking just to show, because, mom brain, I'm 6 kids deep, So the map trek one is great with the U.S. passport one. So like when you study that state, go back and make copies and then let them color that state, put the capitals in there. And we did something called on Wednesday map drills, where whatever they could remember after spending some time with that particular state, they would go in and literally put in any types of rivers or mountains or something they learned about that particular side. Like if you took the state of Virginia, then we know Northern Virginia, there's this, it's close to DC and Virginia Beach, there's a big statue of Neptune, so little things that they would remember in that. And the U.S. passports are so cool to do your meal planning with. So we did a taste of all 50 states when we went through that course, and that was really fun. So you kind of get a taste of America as you go through it, and then it makes meal planning way easier for mom while you're going through that course. And then for the American timeline for notebooking, I know Michelle had asked, so my daughter dig through some bins to get some of these. So I'll just show some of them. She's got 2 different kids. So I think one's a little bit older and one's our younger one. But we just took the timeline. We printed them, and then they would make drawings to make it their own. I don't know how to get a good.
I know, that's the struggle I was having.
That's how do you get it in there?
I love how you guys took the timeline packs and cut them out and customized them and added your own to them.
Yeah,
Um,
and then
that's really beautiful.
and then the ones who are more studious. Okay, let me know if you know which one's the girl and which one's the boy.
I
Okay.
think I know.
You know, so that's just like a little bit of like what they've done, and then they'll do like narrations right here. And I think I just gave away that child's name, but yeah, so they'll, that's the way that it made it their personal, and then sometimes they'll go in the back and then write more stuff of like what they actually learned, like the redcoats are coming, run, you know. So
So customizable and fun. I think sometimes we get into these, middle school or upper elementary and even the high school levels and start to think, oh, we have to be so serious. But they can learn these fun things about our nation and other things from history, and they can make it fun. And I do love the colorful, fun approach that Master Books has by encouraging them to sketch and encouraging them to make a little comic of what they learned and expressing themselves in that really fun way, just like you're showing there.
yeah, it's cool because it becomes more of like, you know, what's sticking, because with notebooking, because it's really them just narrating and remembering, retelling everything that they have just learned. So sometimes it's a little bit more powerful and more enjoyable than like the worksheets. But worksheets have their place, you know, and quizzes and stuff. And the What a Character series are really good, like you said, for audiobooks. And then we have assigned them also for like independent reading. Or if I am cooking, the child that I still want to hear read out loud for that practice, it's a great way to have them read out loud and practice, or just 15 minutes of quiet time. And usually I tell them, read a book. I don't care what you do, but that's just my mental break in the day. So I need that. So we use a lot of those books for that. And then the what were the passports that we get? We always save those and put those in our portfolio because our state recommends that we have a portfolio on file for 2 years. So it's great to also use those types of things for. And our portfolio is just a 3-ring binder of example work of what we started off with the year, middle, and then the end. So that's what we've done in the past to have that. And the Pledge of Allegiance with that book is a really good book, and you can customize the activities for the homeschool, like atmosphere and arena. And the biographies are so good that you're right. Those courses aren't talked about much, like America's Struggle to Become a Nation or the biographies, but they're really in depth. They're beautifully like illustrated. And if you have older kids, what I did one year was I did America's Story with my younger ones. My older ones did For You, they signed, and then my middle ones did the America's Struggle to Become a Nation with the biographies. And the Fight for Freedom, we kind of did during morning time or during lunchtime, like if everybody's quiet finally, so you can just like read out loud and get it in. And I've learned a lot in those, so I actually think that that's cool if you wanted to do like a full theme of American history one year, but you have kids in different ages. That's a good way to kind of pair everybody in the same theme, but doing their own thing. And also, I wanted to say for the biographies, we did practice oral presentations. That's actually some of my kids' first oral presentation. Between that and U Report, World History U Report. So that's also a fun way. They can pick the one person that was their favorite after like 4 or 6 weeks, and then you can just have them present to the family, and that's fun for them, and they get those skills going. And I think somebody earlier in the app kind of asked, how do you get kids more comfortable with public speaking? And that's one of the easiest way to do that is to just encourage oral narration and also presentations. And it doesn't have to be like super elaborate. It could just be like after dinner one night, or you could actually plan it out and have grandparents or friends over, and then they get a little taste of what your homeschool's like, and you can kind of show off for those naysayers, and then you can just have fun and let them do it. They can even do it like as a review at the beginning of your history lesson the next day. So lots of ways to be flexible with that, but that's something that we also did with that. So those are the little bit of notes I had while you were showing some of those resources. So hopefully those are helpful for everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely. So helpful. That's one of the favorite things that I have about like our Master Books Facebook group and this Master Books app is see the way that all of the moms share the way that they use these resources for their specific children, the way that their children learn, or the way that their children connect with these resources. And, you know, no two children are alike. And I love that Master Books takes an eclectic, out of the box approach to learning. And I just love seeing kids connect with this information, um, digest it, and then be able to share what they've learned. It may not sound polished and poised, even if they're like, yeah, that guy, he was our president. They did learn it and they did get the main concept of it, and they have a lot of fun along the way. So this is the newest release as far as that goes for Master Books related to United States history at this point. I highly recommend that you guys get this and use it. Help your kids make a lot of great connections with it. And if you would like to share how you use timelines in your home, we would love for you to post photos of your timeline set up in the app.
Yes. All right. Is there anything else you would like to share before we leave today?
Just so thankful for all of you here in the community. Thank you for joining us today, for your continued connection, the way that you support other moms in this community. It's so beautiful, and I'm personally so thankful because I can feel lonely sometimes, and this community helps me remember I'm not alone, and seeing other moms struggle and have wins that we can share those together is so awesome. So I just wanted to thank all of you for being here and for your continued involvement in the Master Books app.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Praise God for the freedom we have in Christ and that we are in a free nation. So thank you so much. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you. We'll see you guys later.